Pastor Landis, we are back. Thank you so much. I know you're busy, so thank you so much for taking this time. So
Absolutely.
we could continue doing what we started. I know life got to life, and so we had a lot going on in between from our first episodes until now. So we're still talking about pastors are human too. And I've got to learn so much more about you over these last several months, and it's leaving out of the year. But I want to go back a little bit, okay? Because I know you're busy. I know you're booked and busy and traveling, you're doing a lot of things. But let's go back to the appreciation concert.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to say we did the appreciation concert back in what, September?
It was September.
Okay, and so I want to talk about it all. I want to talk about how we came up with the event, how we went through the different changes. I would just be so honest with you. I want to talk about all the emotions that happened. Maybe not so much you, but me, because I was like all over the place. So we could try to get it together. Let's just talk about the appreciation period. Tell me how it first started off. Tell me what you remember. Let's put it like that. Let's talk through it.
Well, I mean, obviously it was a mix of emotions, due to the fact, of losing my father, and it was I believe it marked almost a year, since that time, and it started out actually. I had this vision, I wanted to do a gala for my father,
Okay,
and didn't get a chance to do that. Ran out of time for that, right?
gotcha.
But God had been so good to me, and in the ministry, I thought that we would do a gala to celebrate this anniversary. And one of the things that I struggle with,
Okay,
and where
tell
God
us.
is kind of working on me, it's very hard for me to allow people to celebrate me.
Okay,
Um,
that's honest. So talk us through that a little bit.
well, look, I've done a lot of work in this area. I
Okay,
mean, because I think that I am so cognizant of the fact that in many ecclesial church environments, so much focus is on the pastor, rightly so.
mm-hmm.
Pastors are always seen as prosperous,
Mm,
even if there are struggling saints in the congregation.
gotcha.
And I believe that God has caused us to have greater and have more, but I'm very intentional about empowering others.
Okay,
And while I know that God has a blessing for me, I want to be intentional. That's not the primary focus. So
mm,
sometimes I have gotten in the way of God in the sense that I'll give
mm-hmm.
and then I'll testify of the goodness of God and how He's blessed me in the midst of my giving.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't give others a chance to give in the same manner in which I gave.
Gotcha.
And when I thought about it, I think that within itself is selfish
Mm-hmm.
because now I'm getting in the way of God. So
Mm-hmm.
what I thought was something that was a good quality actually was outside God's will because basically what I was saying is, God, I got a better way. So it
Hmm.
looked like it was a beautiful thing, but really I need to kind of sit down and let others pour into me the way I pour into them. Now okay, that
That's
was kind
good.
of deep, but
No, that's good.
but the other part of that is this: you have to humble yourself
Mm-hmm.
because you have to become vulnerable because there's a possibility that somebody may not care to celebrate you in the way you want to be celebrated once you agree to it. So like, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
So when you ask me how this started off, at first I wanted a gala, but I looked at the season that I'm in. I concluded that there's more work to do.
Gotcha.
Whether it's physical in the edifice of the church itself, there's some plans that are about to come to fruition in 2026. There are some ministry things that I need to get done, and I concluded that it wasn't the right timing for that magnitude of an event. So we
Gotcha.
made a pivot.
We did. We definitely made a pivot. And then we pivot and we came up with the idea of just having like a celebration concert.
Hmm.
Because with you being an awesome pastor, you are also an awesome musician, even though you give yourself no credit for that. So we'll fast forward. But when me and my team realized that we were no longer doing like the gala, you know what I
Yeah,
mean, as far as like comedy and all that kind of stuff, we like, okay, well, let's just have church
yeah,
and let's just do some old school stuff. Let's do some choir
right.
things. And it was just, and it's just me, like I said, it's probably my emotions. We had amazing rehearsals. Okay. We were preparing, we were learning different people. My team joined with your team, and then it all became all my team. I'm not trying to steal your people, but you know how it is as far as music and the band. And then now I want to talk about, which nobody knows, the behind the scenes of the day of the appreciation.
Mm.
Because we were prepared. We had amazing decorations. Shots out to Dream 24 Decor. Ann Alicia is one of the best designers ever. She transformed our stage and our sanctuary. Everybody was amazed. So if you ever need her for anything, I definitely want to shout her out. Let's also shout out Corey and F2 Choir, because they were a part. They came up. They have a lot of accolades. It was really cool. But I want to, like I said, go to behind the scenes. The day of the concert, it looked like a tsunami came through Orlando, Florida. Right or wrong?
Oh, definitely right.
The weather was horrible. It was
Horrible.
like black outside. It was just like the bottom just lit out, right? So I'm in one space feeling away, and you were back in your office. And then you said, "Come here, Carl, I want to talk to you." So I went back there because, of course, we did all this planning. We were talking. We had different teams. We were trying to figure stuff out. And I sat there and with my little fascinator on, and you looked at me. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Okay, tell me how you was feeling.
Um, all right. So don't judge me.
Okay.
I felt like it was raining, like it was raining with Noah. I
Yeah,
was like, this is horrible.
we had never seen that much
And
rain.
it was, the wind was blowing so hard, it was raining so bad, it was really coming underneath a couple of the doors.
Yes, it
And
was.
I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a disaster. And my biggest worry was nobody was going to come.
Yeah.
To be honest,
To be honest.
that was my biggest worry, but that didn't happen.
No, because like I said, we were back there. We were talking in the office. I was like, you know what? We just got to pray. Because at this point, we're here
And we
now.
did, and we did pray.
And we did pray.
Yes.
And we was back there. We prayed. We came through to start that program, and the sanctuary was full.
The church was packed.
I wanted to scream.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize, like, even with being gifted, even with being anointed, even being called, and if we go even further, even with being professional, there is a level of like feelings and emotions that you have to get over in order to go through like the event. Does that make any sense? Like, just
Absolutely.
because you prepared, and I'm sure you get this all the time, like you studied, you wrote your sermon down, you got everything together, but sometimes there's like this nervousness, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right words, but sometimes there's like this hesitation where you like, should I say this? Should I keep this? How do I go about this? And I don't think people really talk about it because all they see is the product and then the finished product. And they're like, oh, y'all did so good. And that's why I look at people and I say, oh no, to God be all the glory. Like, I am not good. I was not good leading up to this. It was a lot going through it, but the church was packed. Not only was it packed though, what I love so much about fellowship, everybody was engaged. What do you think about that? What do you think about when you looked out and saw everybody?
You hit on a couple of things. I think it's important for us to be transparent. I don't want to use the word vulnerable.
Okay.
Now I'll unpack that different because I think the vulnerable, when we say vulnerable, it's the wrong word.
Okay, teach
But
us.
in this moment,
Yeah,
okay,
teach us.
listen, especially when you're dealing with men, when you say you need to be able to be vulnerable, I think what we need to say, we need to be transparent.
Okay.
We are using words in society, and we're using these words in ways that are not congruent with what the definitions
What it
actually
really
are.
means. Okay.
You know, when you're vulnerable, that means that you're weak.
Okay.
That means you have areas that could be penetrated.
Okay.
And so naturally, you're going to get a different reaction to a man, even if it's not in his cognitive mind, in his soul.
Okay.
But I want to be transparent.
Okay.
Now, as you can see, that's something that we can really spend a lot of time talking
We
about.
really could.
So to be transparent, you can be prayed up. You can be as spiritual you want to be, but you're still a person.
Facts.
And because you're still a
Facts.
person, you still have feelings.
Facts.
And so you want to be successful. In the way you measure that success is how many people actually show up. And so in that moment when I was doubting after we prayed, I said basically, Lord, whatever you give,
Facts.
I will be grateful and thankful for. And so when we got our minds made up that we were just going to be grateful. When we walked out, we saw what God would do. Because I see oftentimes we make it about us.
Very true.
And in that moment, not to
Very
be
true.
super deep,
Right.
in that moment, I was literally making it about me. But when I took the focus off of me, I just truly believe God showed us that He controls the rain.
He
He
did.
controls the elements. So when we got out there and it was super packed, and to your point, we had listen, we have to get the video and the footage of that amazing concert out where people can see it.
No, we do.